Shalom. All praises to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shah. This is Teller Nicholas with the Noble House of St. Nicholas, Vintage Saints of Israel, and House of Jacob. Today, I want to get into the Hebrew Israelite Parker family. All the Negroes with the surname Parker in the Americas, Caribbean islands, Europe, and all those scattered abroad with the surname Parker. Before you guys were slaves here in the Americas and the Caribbean islands, you guys was royalty in Europe. You guys was royalty in England and Ireland. To remind y'all, the Negroes, the Hebrews ruled the Dark Ages from 500 AD to 1500 AD. That was prophecy fulfilled in Revelations 20 and 6. And then we went into captivity from 1500 AD to the late 1600s. But before I get into any more, I want to go into some scripture. I want to go into Baruch, chapter 4, verse 3 to 4. Chapter 4, verse 3 to 4. And it reads, "Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a stranger. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known unto us." And that's keeping the commandments, all right? So now I'm going to get into the Hebrew Israelite Parker family's history before you guys were slaves here in the Americas and the Caribbean islands. You guys was royalty in Europe. And to remind you, we did not get caught in slavery in Africa. We got caught in slavery in Europe. And I'm going to begin. The name Parker comes from the family having worked as a person who worked as the Parker, which was the individual who was the guardian of the park grounds. Some Parkers was employed by noblemen who held large estates that needed the grounds of the estate or castles maintained. Now, this is the early origins of the Parker family. The surname Parker was first found in Sumerest, where ancient tell Parcher was listed as holding lands in the Doomsday Book of 1086. Now, that's a notable that the Parker family would want to look into, all right? And I will give you a link on how to look up these notables. One reputable source claims the name was descent from Norman Lee Parker or Forster, who hailed from Queen Matilda in 1083. He appeared to be the same as Norman Veneta of Sallow, 1086. From him descended huge Parcarius of Denvon, 13th century. And to remind y'all, in the 13th century and 11th century, the Caucasians that stole the surname Parker was in the outskirts of Europe as wild men. And you could Google that information up by going into Wild Men and Moors. Another equally strong source claimed that name to Thomas Lee Parker, Edward III in the extant baronet family of Parker of Ratton traced their lineage to the time of Edward I in Sussex. All right. The name quickly became widespread throughout Britain as seen by one of the first rolls, the Hundreds Do Roll Rums of 1273, which lists John Parker in Dorset, Adam Lee Parker in Norfolk, and Peter Lee Parker in Yorkshire. A family called Parker had been established for centuries in Lancashire. Brownsholme Hall near Clitheroe was first built by Richard Lee Parker in 1380 and still the family seat. All right, so the Parker family have numerous notables that you could cling to. It's a branch, all right? And it's about time that y'all remember who y'all are. Y'all are 100,000 strong in the Americas alone. And that's the African American. That's the Hebrew American, not including Europe and the Caribbean islands. It's about time that y'all remember who y'all are. Gather together as one family. And then come back to the Mashiach Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Keep the commandments and get your blessing. Because we're living in a time of Gog and Magog. These are the end days here. All right? So this is Teller Nicholas with the Noble House of St. Nicholas, Vintage Saints of Israel, and House of Jacob. I hope this small edification was edifiable for the Parker family. Shalom.